Microphone's working. I had to check, make sure I had audio. And looks like, yeah, the little lights are lighting up. Come on and come on and come all. Let me see if I can get my beard brushed out here. I hate it when I get breadcrumbs in my beard. They're like little wires. I'm gonna play my beard. Oh, I gotta quit acting crazy. We got people in the studio. There's Thomas Bailey. Time to go. That's what she said. She said I was fast. Hey, Thomas Bailey. Well, Cam, it's good seeing you in here this morning. We chat about you quite often. You're our English representative. You're our UK representative. It's good to be able to talk to our ancestors, the land of our ancestors. Brown chicken. Hey, buddy. Quick shoe. Good morning to all. Well, Moto, he has to go and be an artist, and I was blessed today with an internet. It's working right now, but if any of you see my signal starting to go bad, be sure to say something. It's a beautiful day here in Alabama. It's the temperature. I was hearing something eating, and I was wondering what it was. And my dog, he got out of bed and come over here, was eating out of his bowl. Oh, that's right. You're having lunch. You're 7 hours or so ahead of me. Yeah, we don't know what we're having. Oh, I know. I know what we're having for lunch today. We're eating leftovers. Well, it's gonna make sure it's up to date. The weather look like it's warmed up already. That thing is talking. Come on. It's busy talking. There's 35, 30, what is it? 39 degrees. Look at this. 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Maybe get up closer. There it is, 39 degrees Fahrenheit. And a little bit kind of hazy out there. It's more blue sky than it is anything. So, a quick shoe I can tell you about internet's being bad. We don't when we have service here, it's really good. I can run like 350, 400 download speeds and 36, 38 upload speed, and that's good. But while it's running good, all of a sudden, for no reason at all, it'll go off. But I'm 7 miles from the tower, and what happens is between me and the tower, there'll be a pressure differential, and that when you're working in a 5 gigahertz, a 5 gigahertz or 5G signal, in fact, this is 6G. When you've got such a tiny radio waves, that the pressure differential diverts the signal. It refracts on that pressure differential, and so the signal was coming to me really good. As all of a sudden now it's gone somewhere else, and because I'm at the very end of the line. 3 miles is, if you're within 3 miles of your cell tower, you're in the sweet spot. When you get out to 7 miles, you're out in what they call the fringe. And even though it's a good signal when it's running, it goes bad in a heartbeat. Well, I spent 48 years being a ham radio operator, and I dealt with such technology as FT8. FT8 is working in a little tiny microwave burst of energy. You're transmitting Morse code at tiny bits of energy at a time, and we send the tiny bits of energy to the surface of the moon. And as the tiny bits of information hits the surface of the moon, it reflects back, comes back through the Faraday effect of the Earth's shield, the Faraday, and it comes back in, and it just keeps sending a signal millions of times until it makes contact. Yeah, I've worked Africa, East Africa, Oman. I've worked over to Seychelles Islands using that form of communication. So we really understand the radio wave thing and how it works. And I've had technicians try to explain to me why my signal just stops in the middle, and he would be so far off base he wouldn't even know what he's talking about. But he was using the company's little bullshit line. They tell you why your signal is poor. Oh yeah. Well, we do have. I used to fly my drone a lot, and I've got a commercial rated drone. You know, it's a 6 motor drone. It's fairly big. It's 3 foot across. If you measure across it, it's 3 foot across, and that's pretty big with 6 motors. And one time I was down here, we have a ridge over here called the Arkadelphia Ridge, and it's 780 feet. So I flew 400 feet above the 780-foot ridge. And down here in the valley right behind me, if I go 400 yards to the west, it drops down in the valley. These FA-18s, they fly by every day. And I've been up above them, and my drone have seen the jets flying below me. Even though I was only 400 foot above, they were flying what's called terrain mapping, and they fly as low as they allowed to fly through the valley. But I was ahead above them by 300 feet. But mine has all kinds of electronic. The the aircraft, the FA-18 sees me with no problem at all. It has an electronic signature, and that electronic signature allows commercial and other aircraft with that kind of equipment on board to be able to detect, make sure you don't suck up a drone in your engine or something. Well, I made a lot of videos about all my stuff. I had my drone videos mostly was all put on Facebook because I had thousands of viewers on Facebook. I did 6 years of drone flying um, all across America, and all those videos mostly. I have a couple. There's 2 or 3 here on my Old Mack channel, but all the good stuff it went over on Facebook. And when they got rid of me on Facebook, all my movies and everything went away. Hey, buddy, how my buddy up in Bismarck, North Dakota? I bet he's freezing his nuts off. It's cold. We're going for straight 6 days straight with no rain for 6 days. I just looked at the weather ahead and 6 straight days of no rain. Yeah, I don't do any Facebook no more. I've been off that for now a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. Um, but they took me off one time for 180 days, and then they took me off for 90 days. But when I had my last violation, they they thought it was best that we should part ways, and I did. But they didn't give me my videos. Oh man, do I look bigger than life on the big screen? Um, the other day, I had my cell phone, all three systems. I've got two systems here side by side, and then I had the big screen sitting right over there. And I had Old Mac was all over this room. That drone, if it's flying, it was flying there at NASCAR. They're the owner of everything NASCAR. Anything that's recorded on by drone, whatever, it has to be and meet the approval of NASCAR. Oh, that's where I used to keep my guns up there, but I had so many complaints when I was on Facebook. They complained I had all these big old long 30 round magazines on all them. I had a FL um, FAL FNFAL up there. You know that's a weapon from the European weapon that was a war machine, a war gun. They didn't like that. And so I got so many complaints about it. I took all my guns out of view, but you can see all my racks are there. Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was partners with NASCAR. Look at this right here. I'm going to show you if I can do this. You look and you see right there, that boy right there. I'm in Michael Waltrip's shop in Cornelius, North Carolina, and we were a partnership with Michael Waltrip. That's inside of his shop where they build the cars. And so we've been to every track in America, wherever his team was racing. We went to it, and we always stayed at the hospitality tent. Yeah, I got to really meet some great people in racing. If you like racing, um, I got to meet Carl Edwards. Nobody probably even remembers Carl Edwards, but he raced for the Cat in the Hat, Jack Roush. I met him over in Dallas Motor Complex at the Dallas Speedway over there. And yeah, they had me on the Fox. They put me on the Fox network, Fox with Jack Rouse and Carl Edwards. That would have been in 2015 when Carl Edwards was still racing. And because of my sponsorship through the Napa car, the number 55 Michael Waltrip car, when you're in a team, a part of a team, it's all family with NASCAR. Yeah, Carl Edwards, you remember he took out that whining, snizzly little wiener looking guy. He put him up into the wall. The number, what was he driving in? The number two car then he was driving Keselowski. And Keselowski's daddy said, I'll put my racing uniform and I'll take that Carl Edwards and put him into the wall. Nobody hits my boy. And sure enough, they have another tangle. Carl Edwards goes up into the wire fence and turned upside down and eat up about 300 feet of wire fence. Parts of the motor hit people and hurt them in the audience. Trunk lid took out people. It was a horrible thing. That's what happens when you get blood feuds out on the track. And Carl Edwards, being a really good human being, he eventually just left NASCAR altogether because of that thing right there. He had a beautiful family, and he didn't want to be taken out by people when they have an act of revenge. And that Keselowski was like a little weasel rat, as far as I was concerned. And there's a lot of weasel rats on there. I can name them all day long that are like this last wreck when Joey Logano, when the guy that Stenhouse pulled down in front of him and he bumped Stenhouse and the guy collects Logano and Logano goes up into the wall and everybody else crashes behind. Oh, hell, it's all Joey Logano's fault. But I stood behind Joey Logano, and today NASCAR is eating some, well, they're having to eat it a little bit there because they've reviewed the tape from other people. And of all the people to speak up and defend Joey Logano um, was the Toyota guy, Denny Hamlin. I can't even stand the guy, but he was a man enough to say, hold it, hold it. Everybody in that racetrack has done the exact same thing, went to the middle, and he stood up for him. And a couple other people stood up for Joey Logano, people they really respect. And so NASCAR's had to kind of like take another look at it. And that little weasel, that low-life and weasel, Jeff Gordon, they used to be a sign at Talladega when you come off I-20. Up there, the sign said fags, something, fags. It meant fans against Gordon. They hated Jeff Gordon so much they would throw whole cans of beer at Jeff Gordon when he ran in that old number 24 car. They hated him. But yeah, he had to get in there and with that crazy Bush, Kyle Busch, that blamed Joey for everything. And that low laughing Kyle Busch has caused more wrecks. We watched him in Nashville take a guitar that they give you for winning the race and smash it all to pieces. Something that was a masterpiece built, and oh hell, they booed him off the track. That low laughing crap. And so Jeff Gordon sided in with Kyle Busch against Joey Logano. Hey, sick. I'm ranting and raving about NASCAR. You and I, we went through this the other day. I didn't hold back. I I've been following NASCAR for over 50 years. Over 50 years. I ain't talking about I seen a picture of them or I used to watch them on Wide World of Sports. Back in the 70s, you had Jim McKay and the Wide World of Sports. Now we lived in Washington State now, see. So they said we're going to do the Daytona 500. All right, so here's all the boys and their big old 426 Hemis and 429 Fords and all the latest, the biggest, and the best, and the fastest you ever had. And they'd be coming around, and they're like 3 laps into it, and they'll be coming down a long straight, the backside straight, and they would cut away. And Jim McKay would say, Steve Reynolds, let's check in with Steve Reynolds in Pueblo, Colorado, at the macrame creative contest. And they would switch over, and then they go, let's switch over to Tommy Jones over at Sarajevo, and they would go over there, and they would be the big ski jumpers. 30 minutes later, they'd come back. They go, oh my God, you should have seen it. All 25 cars were stacked on top of one another. They were blowing up. There was flames everywhere. I wish you could have seen it. It was spectacular. That's the kind of racing we watched back in our days. You never had a in-car camera, and you had one camera up there on the grandstand going around the track, and that's all you seen, and we loved it. That was the best thing we could ever. Then when they started putting the cameras in the cars, and oh, the Bud Light car. God, right on the tip of my tongue. I just saw him the other day on a. Let's see. Hey, Angel Face, I'm glad you came over and joined us. Mac Daddy. The old Mac Daddy. Well, Bubba, you, you, he worked for Denny Hamlin, and Denny Hamlin was a bit of a prick too. One time they had a little open mic session that Hamlin was telling, under no circumstances will you pass me. I'm the points leader, and you're to stay behind me. I mean, how can you? If I'm an owner of a car, I go, if you can pass me, get your ass on up in here and do it. And telling one of your drivers to stay behind you. Daytona 96, huh? Man, I see in 96, golly, I was still living in Washington, and it may have been a situation that we might have missed that one. I sound like I could probably look that up if they got video on it and check it out. I like Menard. I remember when. Oh man, that's a good racing family. I got to meet a lot of people when I was with Michael Waltrip when we was teamed up with that team because see when he bought equipment from us, a company um, that was making water jet equipment, and they bought a what they call a capture system, and he Michael Waltrip could cut spindles for a race car spindle on his water jet machine out of tempered steel without having to re-anneal it and all that stuff he had to do, and it saved a lot of steps and doing this. And he worked for like Joe Gibbs and the Penske team. He made, in NASCAR, you're always bending the spindles, or you're always breaking the spindle, and Michael Waltrip, he had contracts with all the other NASCAR teams to make parts for those NASCAR teams. I watched a beautiful interview with Cletus McFarland from the Freedom Factory there in Florida. He went up and did an interview with Michael Walter, I'm sorry, Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Cornelius up there at Junior Motor Speedway. Now we've been in the shop. I got pictures of me and Junior. I love Junior. In fact, I never got to meet Dale Earnhardt in real, but I've been to Dale Jr.'s place, and he treated us to a lot of nice. He's a good human being. Junior is not his daddy, but Junior is a good human being, and he had that really great interview with Cletus McFarland. You know, during the hurricane last year that wiped out portions of North Carolina, Cletus McFarland, for like 3 days up there, he flew his brand new helicopter up there and ferried people in and out of those storm areas. And Junior interviewed him, and they brought all this stuff up about the Mercy flats that he did with his helicopter. And if you haven't seen that episode on YouTube, check out Junior, his podcast he's got, and he did another good human is that at Cletus McFarland. That's his stage name, and he he's 29 years old, and he has 4 million viewers for a 29-year-old guy. And I remember when he got started, they were just a show like us, our little lightweight show, you know, little of nothing. I don't have anything to offer except riding my Harley or maybe flying a drone or something like that. And he's got now 4 million followers. That's a pretty good chunk of the media system, and he is entertaining. Wow, 46 degrees Fahrenheit up in Canada. Yeah, we did. Yeah, Mountain Jedi. That's another guy I like too. He he's got all them little witticisms and stuff, and yeah, I know the guy that made, of course, the Shade Tree Surgeon is what made Joe the Jedi pick up his channel and start running with it and start working out of his own shop and yeah, I've watched Cletus McFarland expand. He's got a racing team called McFarland Racing, and he just went and did ARCA. He raced ARCA last week, and I mean he set them back on their tail because he brought in fresh blood into ARCA, you know, and ARCA is where everybody gets started. That's the crash and bang racing circuit. If you want to crash, go and join up ARCA, and you're going to get in on your first crash. And he did, and he wasn't responsible for it. I've got I got a video on my Old Max channel way down at the bottom. I think I'm at about 698 videos. Way down at the bottom down there, there's a car I built a street rod in 1994, and it had a Pro Street engine, a 502 Pro Street engine in it, and that's not a 454. It's not a 454 beefed up or nothing. No, it's a all total new block. It's a Gen 5 engine, and mine was built by Tom Sally Chevrolet in Milton, Freewater, Oregon. That's right across near Pendleton over there. right close to Walla Walla, and they built my engine and dyno tuned it and everything for me. And we put it in a 68 GMC pickup truck, a short wheelbase, very much like the Boosted Boys. The guy that works with Boosted Boys there, he's got a GM. I think his was like a 70, 71. Mine was a 68, but it had the same front end on it. Short wheelbase. I had Beltec suspension on it. We at one time we were going to go full frame from Art Morrison, and because Art Morrison was only 30 miles from my house to his shop. No, it's in my old. If you go to Old Mack's video, just go to at Old Mack and YouTube, and go over and look at the videos. I don't remember what name it was under back in them days, but you got to keep in mind, when I built this, using. We had a VHS video camera, and the day we started the engine up, my wife came out and she watched me start the engine up live, and we converted that VHS over to MP3 or MP4, to a format that we could put on into the digital world. But I used a real good Panasonic camera when I recorded that way back in '94, and I converted it over later years and put it on YouTube so people could see it. That's a GMC, a red GMC pickup. It's red. It's you might see them there's three videos down there. One of them is where they're uh, customizing the frame to lower it down. It was really low to the ground, and we had customized seats in it. It had three front seats, three bucket seats in the front. Well, for console, the center seat was the console, but you could raise the console part up, and that was the back of the middle seat. Let me see. Let me take a look at that, and I can tell you if that is it or not. Yeah, that's the engine. It's a Chevrolet engine, but it went into a GMC. We put it in a GMC. But there's a video. Oh, yeah, that one right there. That's where we put it all together. But uh, what happened there is they built the engine for me, and then General Motors recalled the whole series of 502s. And so I got a letter from Tom Stanley Chevrolet, and I'd already at that point had put a few thousand miles on the engine. They said, your engine has been recalled by General Motors. If you'll put it back in the crate and bring it over or ship it over to us, we'll update it to the new generation that has the bigger head studs in it and has, for blowers and stuff, so you can run more cylinder pressure. And they said, we'll do this. And while we got it, we'll change. And I immediately took the engine out and put it in the crate and sent it back over there, and they completely rebuilt it, and they took it up 100 horsepower. When they got it dyno tuned it with the new upgrades, they tuned it to 650 horses, and at low RPM. I think it was 5,200 RPM, 5,200 it made, 605 foot-pounds of torque, and 650 horsepower. Good, dependable horsepower. It wasn't one of those real radical where you could barely keep it running. Let me see. Let's see what the next one is here. That might be the one where. Oh, now that's after I come down to Alabama. I came down to Alabama and put it on 93 octane, and it was like 12 or 13 degrees that morning when I went out there and started it up. Cold. And I drove it over onto the highway. Oh, I think you might, in that one, I believe I take it up to about 100 and something. Um, After I warmed it up good and got on the state highway over there, I think I took it up to, I think it shifted into fourth gear at about 100 and something. Oh, yeah, that's a good little video there of me actually driving the thing. Yeah, thank you, Toga. For those that want to see a little bit of past all the way back to 94 of Old Mac. And listen to that that voice there was the best audio we had back in 94. They didn't have all these beautiful improvements they make with audio. I think I spoke to Evil Rick when he came on. If I didn't, hello, Evil, I didn't mean to leave you, buddy. Well, I got to ask Angel Face. I got in on Motorbomb when they just about ending there. What was the deal on your motorcycle yesterday? You went over there. Did you get your motorcycle, or I never got a chance to hear that this morning? You might respond if you would, if you got your motorcycle yesterday, or was it what you was looking for, or are you still looking? Well, at least you went and looked at it. There you go. I have a daughter-in-law that started calling me Mac Daddy, and because she didn't like the idea of having an old man, old Mac. She didn't like that at all. She liked Mac Daddy. If you've seen some of my collection of knives I've got, I could be called Mac the Knife. Remember that great song, Mac the Knife? Ah, good. See that that's a good, sensible approach. Yeah, I tell you, you never want to buy a car or a truck or anything when it's raining because you can't go out and test it because you can't really test it. I mean, you can drive it, but um, and also the paint looks better when it's wet. But you go back the next day after it's bright and sunny, and you can see all the pigments in the paint and all the dents and all the stuff that you missed during a cloudy day. You're always wiser. Don't buy a car at night and don't buy one when it's raining. Wait till you can actually see what the car really looks like. Yeah, those little videos that Toga posted there. That's when the engine just came in. I bought a 4L60 transmission that had been modified for off-road racing. It was called a soda. Soda. Soda is the designation for off-road racing, and it had all the good stuff. That it was only a 4L60 case, but it was good for 1,500 horsepower. The thing was built for up to 1,500 horses, and that little truck run good. When my son turned 35 years of age, I gave it to him for his birthday. that's a good. Well, see, if you agreed to remove the ad, he knows that you're coming back. That's that was a good another good thing to think about is the honesty of the person that's selling it to you. If he's willing to do that, well, he's ready to make it a deal. I don't know if you was able to do anything about the price or if it was a price the way you wanted it to be or whatever, but usually when the seller is agreeable like that, he's also oh, quick is leaving us. I didn't see. Oh, quick, shoe. If you got to go, buddy. Well, thank you for coming over and joining us. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, do that. I don't have no way of displaying your pictures here, but you can see my email up there if you ever want to send me something in the email. There up there on Old Mack's page, you can go down and hit more, and you can see the email account, and you can send pictures through my email. I believe you can. I've never sent myself nothing, but I believe that's the way it works. Now, I'm not soliciting anybody to send me nothing. I don't want anything sent to me for no reason because when I expire, Angelique's got to get rid of all my stuff in the house and everything. That would be just more stuff she'd have to liquidate. I had some, I had some cars in my days that I watched on the auction at Mecum sell for over $100,000, and I had several of them. I had a Barracuda that went really high. I had a Chevrolet Caprice that went very high dollar, more than 100,000. Yeah, I've had a lot of the Mustangs that sold really good. I've had Torinos, 429, 428, Super Cobra Jets, the Super CJ, the Super CJ Cobra. The 428 Cobra Jet was a 340 horsepower, 428 cubic inch, but the Super CJ was 400 plus horsepower, but it had four main boats. That made it a really strong, high revving. I had a Super CJ with the hood shaker and all that stuff. 433 gears, awesome. C6 automatic. It was built to the hilt from the Ford Motor Company called the Torino Super CJ. Not a Jeep CJ, but a Ford Cobra Jet CJ. CJ stands for Cobra Jet, but the Super CJ was four main boats. Hey, very good. You negotiated the price within the range that you was looking for, and that that the guy was ready to sell. I bought my wife a new Chevrolet Malibu car, 1999. That's a long time ago. And that was a lemon from the day we bought it from the factory. The Chevrolet Malibu had a V6 engine in it. It was just a lemon from the day it rolled out of the factory. And we put so much money in that car after the warranty expired. We put a lot of money in that car. And so one time I bought her a then I went out and I bought her a new car. I can't remember what she got. Oh, I bought her a new one of those Ford SUVs, not the Explorer, but I it was a really aerodynamic looking Ford SUV, Windstar. Yeah, Windstar. I bought her a Windstar. Was that later? Ah, water over the dam. But anyhow, she had both cars. Then we had so much. We had the Chevrolet Malibu running good at this point. We put a sign up there, parked it up in the front of our yard, up at the end of the driveway. First $500 gets it. I paid 20 something thousand for it, but I said the first $500 gets it. See, I just wanted it hauled away. And a guy stopped and he said, "Would you take 450?" I said, "No." And then a woman stopped by him. She was looking for a car for her son to drive to college. And she said, "That's a good looking car." She said, "Do you mind if we take it for a drive?" I said, "No." So I didn't get in there with them. They just took it off and they drove it and they came back and she said, "Oh, we like this car." And he does too, because it was really clean inside and everything leather. And it was a good Malibu. It wasn't the low life in Malibu. It wasn't a cheap economy Malibu. It was the high end because it had the V6. And like I said, we paid good dollars for it. They said, "We'll take it." And she said, "Can I write you a check?" I go, "No, ma'am, no checks." She said, "Well, I have to go to Coleman to go get the money." And so my wife is standing there and she handed me the title and I handed her the title, signed off. I said, "You can have the car." And she's like, "What?" I go, "No, I'm giving you the car." Because I didn't want her to have to drive 25 miles to the bank and get money out and then come back and pay me, because we just wanted to get rid of it. And it was for a good family. It was the boy was going to go to school. Now this other guy up there, he's my neighbor and he's a millionaire. I'm talking about multimillionaire, and he wanted to use it for one of his employees' cars, so an employee would have a car, and he wanted to cut me down by $50. Then the car should have been $1,500 minimum, and he wanted to cut it down to another 50. So I gave it to the young man, and I used to watch him go by. They drove that car for at least 3 years right by my place, going to Wallace State University, Wallace State College over there. Chasing Ghosts. Hello, Chasing Ghosts. I get busy talking sometimes. I'll forget to look over on the chat side. I got a panel on the side of the screen there that the chats are rolling by. So occasionally I have to try to remind myself to look over and see who all is in and who all is left. And we're doing great. We're on the air and the system's holding up good. It looks like it is. Well, you guys talk. Let me see if I can bring up the speed checker and see how good we doing today on speed test. It's bringing it up. It wants me to install it on my computer. I ain't gonna do that. Anyhow, um, Mystical Rider. Yeah, we're doing great, Mystical Rider. And chasing ghosts, I gotta ask you, where are you today and what are you hauling? I'm DOT, man. Show me your papers. Well, let me check this out right here. Oh, speed test. Okay. Evil Rick. Let me see. Go to the channel. Joe, man, look at this right here. I guess I went to your channel. Look at you. You're an old duffer. If that's you sitting right there in that chair, oh yeah, you're out there on that beautiful lake, Hog Rock. I think I've been to your page before, Henry. Most interesting page there. I believe that ain't what you was wanting to show me. Let me see. Uh, I see. It takes the whole. It won't let me separate the link. Yeah, but the link is tied to you. When I click on it, see the link is tied to your page. When I click on it, now I separated. You got those three little dots over there, and you can go over and go to the. All right, T-Mobile. Oh, it's showing it way over to Anniston, Alabama, which is over 100 miles from me. But I need to go. I need to go to the burn. Here we go. Let's try that one right here. That's what I use. I use speed test is what I use. Man, it shows I don't have any signal. Well, I mean, I got signal 100. Let me see right now. There we go. The download speed, the download when it finally gets through reading download is 240.34. Now the upload, it's looking good. I thought I had a good signal. Upload so far is holding at about 26 upload. And it said right here, it said you're unstable signal because reason being it's called it unstable. It rose, it dipped, and it rose again, and it dipped and it rose again. It didn't have a steady climb out. So it says the report was I had a unstable performance. Hoping you can hear me while I'm doing that. Thank you very much, Evil. Yeah, you did it. There, I was able to get to it, but this way, that's right and direct this way. Yeah, that's the one I use. But the problem, Ben, is I've got it all set up on that computer over there, and this one I have not brought it over where it's downloaded on my computer. I just simply looked at it on Microsoft or whatever, Windows. Yeah, ping spikes. Well, I'm running a an Ethernet cable from the router over there, and it's one of those two gigabyte or no 1 gigabyte ether cable. It'll go up to 1 gigabyte. Now we're going to upgrade that to the newer one when we get the fiber in here, fiber optics. But right now we're running that 1 gig, but it's downward compatible to go all the way down to 100 megahertz. So okay, I missed. She told me what she was hauling. Still driving. Houston Industrial Waste. I used to run with a guy that hauled industrial waste from Connecticut and New York, and he brought it to Mobile, Alabama. He runs a weekly route going up and bringing back a load of hazardous material, and they put it on a barge in Mobile, Alabama. And I used to run with him. Every time we'd be out on the super slab, I would catch up with him on the CB radio, and we'd link up somewhere, and he just had a dedicated run. That's all he ran between Hartford, Connecticut. And I was hauling to Hartford, Connecticut from Alabama, from Hayden, Alabama to Hartford, Connecticut, hauling electric motors. I used to haul truckloads of electric motors up there. Well, in reality, when we was on the big slab, they didn't pay you extra. Here's what happened. They made you do extra stuff. You had to have hazmat, you had to be permitted for hazmat hauling, and you had to go and do all the schooling and testing for hazmat. And we didn't get, I don't remember any significant raise in hauling hazmat. I mean, there's plenty of jobs available because a lot of people don't want to haul it. So if you got your hazmat certification on your DOT, on your license there, you can you pretty well can write your own ticket. Well, this is wired from the modem over there. It'll be Ethernet wired, but there's Wi-Fi. It's a router, modem router, because it's got Wi-Fi, and the rest of the house up to 140 feet. I can go out 140 feet from the where the position the router, and so I can go out on the back deck and do live broadcast from the back deck with full signal, or go up into the front deck. I like to go sit on the front deck because you can see the highway up there, and you can see people. You wave, hey! It's a southern thing. In the South, you like to sit on the front porch and you eat a bucket of chicken or eat a nice slice of watermelon, hey, and wave at people to go by. I bet you wish you had some watermelon. Whew. Oh, can you imagine having a wreck and busting that tank? Well, I used to haul asphalt. When I was really young, I hauled asphalt, and it had a big old burner that ran the full length. It was a 45-foot tanker that had burners in it under the bottom, two rows of burners that kept that asphalt bubbling hot. So you could pump it out. We had a Wisconsin four-cylinder engine on the side mounted on the frame, and it pumped that asphalt. We would take it to a place where they was putting the asphalt down on the road, and we'd pump it into their truck with the pumper truck, and they would disperse it. They'd go out on the road and be like hot tar being laid out on the surface, and that was a nasty hot job, let me tell you. I think I'm going to change positions here. I'm going to turn around like this. Let me get myself all turned all up in here. There we go. Hell yeah, that's a better view right there. We can keep an eye on the back door in case somebody's come in on me. Yeah, we got our stars and stripes still right there, and we got. I thought I could, if I moved it a little bit further, you can see. Look right here. Um, if you look right there, Toga, there is the T-Mobile router right there in the window. See, it's right there. Now that's another good way I can do it because I can literally, if my signal goes, I turn the background to see how pretty the lens. Now you can see it. Um, if my modem goes off over there, it will come up and there's a light comes on, and that's a screen, that black thing in the center, and it'll show me when it's having an issue. And also on my YouTube page up there, it says unstable, whatever. Then I know I'm fixing to go off. There's my chainsaw charger on the wall. I use electric chainsaw, and that charger right there keeps my chainsaw ready to go. When you live in a tornado zone or a hurricane area, you got to have a good chainsaw. I had, I've had so many gas chainsaws since we lived here. Wore out some good chainsaws. In 2011, we were inundated. We had like 80 trees collapsed in on us, and big old hole that big in the roof of the house, and it tore us up bad. The house over across the street is 17 rooms with 7 gables, and 1/3 of his house was gone. That's when the tornado took it out. And well, we burned up a good chainsaw, but I'd go out there and a tree would be blowed over my property, blocking one of my trails that I ride on. I'd go out there and get my chainsaw. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Run. I'd leave the gas in it for like 6 months, and that would jelly up inside the carburetor. Yeah, of course. If you got trails like we do here, you got to go clean them up and drag them off the trail. Well, I want you to be safe out there chasing ghosts. I know how hard life can be out on the road. We only did it for 6 years, 6 continuous years. But over what happened when I was with the company, when it would be out, like in 77, I survived the 77 layoff, but in 81, after being with the company many, many years, I had to go back on the road to make a living. When you're a truck driver and you got your CDL, you still have the road open for you. You know, you can go almost anywhere. As long as you got a decent driving record, you can. And if you don't even have a decent driving record, you just got out of prison, you can go to work at Western Express, and you can drive for them. When I was with the four, um, I used to belong to a cheaping club called All Wheelers, and it was an off-road. We did stuff. We'd always take our chainsaw, and every spring we'd go up on our favorite roads to ride, and our whole crew, maybe 40 or 50 of us, would go up and we'd open up roads with our chainsaws, and we'd take our winch, and we had these big old 12,000-pound Warren winches, and we'd drag the trees, open up a path so we could go through. and picking up debris and litter. You know, you're in state lands and signs all over the place. You know, don't litter. Oh, humanity, man. Just throwing their beer cans out the window and all that kind of stuff. And leave the campfire all the campsite just beer cans everywhere, whiskey bottles. We're not opposed to drinking. We just don't like it when people are trashy. Well, my little dog, I better get her on the line and get her to. I don't think she's taken my little dog out yet. Oh, let's see what this is. Oh, good. Look at the machine. There's check it out, folks. That's Motor Bombs. His little pumpkin that he rides. Ain't that a good looking machine? Come on, focus. It ain't wanting to focus. There we go. Almost. There's Mr. Motorbomb and his pumpkin. Got the little goblin. Get her paw real fast. Forever to go through all this. Yo, what it be? What are you up to? I need to have you to come and get Theo and take him for a walk. Okay. Thank you, sweetie. Is he finally awake? Yeah, he's laying over there waiting right in front of the fireplace. He needs to go. All right, I'll give him he raised his little leg while ago and took his little front paw and pointed towards his pee-pee, and I think he was trying to send me a signal. Subliminal messages, right? No, it wasn't subliminal. He actually took his little paw and was pointing down, and he started doing like it. Okay. So okay. I think he needs to go. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, my little dog can talk to me. Yep. Oh, that thing sounds good. That R1 sounds good. He likes to make it. He likes to make it. Me too. I'm the same way. I had 4-into-1 exhaust on my crotch rocket, and I would take it up to 10,500 RPM, and it had a musical note that was good for my ears. Okay. Uh, I knew you wanted to go. Okay. Oh, he's got a watering pan. There's a 2-gallon water jug over there that he's scared of. He is literally scared of that water jug because if he starts lapping water out of it, all of a sudden the jug gets a 2-gallon size and it goes glug glug glug, makes a little glugging sound, and he'll jump back away from it. So I have his pan of water over here, And when his water gets down, he'll sit right by the bowl. He won't move from that bowl. And he looks my way until I look over and realize he's out of water and I have to go. I either pour him a bottle of water in it or go get him some water. Yeah, he has no trouble communicating. And when he wants to go to the back door, he'll go sit right by the door and he won't move from that door till he's ready to go. Till I open that door. Dogs and cats. I got a tomcat out there. Maybe I can do this for you. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you. I might be able to do this. I'll show you my tomcat. Well, you can't hardly see it there. If you look on the out there, there's my too many reflections. Just way too many reflections. There it is right there. See that blue thing on the seat? The back seat from where Angelique sits is covered. There's my little dog and her walking in the background. Um, it's a covered back seat, so my cat sleeps on there. And I got it fixed where the speakers are back there where he can't claw them speakers. But he'll lay out there and if she goes to the back door and put cat food in his pan, man, I can see him coming out from under that blue cover there. That's a big old beach towel, and it's got a towel on the seat that covers my speakers and everything up. And he will get down and come running around here to the back, and yeah, he's a really good animal. We've had him so many years. He's a big old tomcat. Just a great guy. Okay. Well, I don't know what you guys have got planned up for today, but we're going to go for a ride on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's going to be on Tuesday, unless there's some unforeseen weather change or whatever. Yeah, we're going to try to find a little place to go riding. I may ride to Birmingham. Angelique, he's like a little bear, ain't he? Hey, little buddy. He's so heavy. What? No, I was going to have you to sit in my chair and keep these folks company while I went to the bathroom. Would you want to run the show?
No,
You don't want to run the show?
no, I have nothing to say today.
Well, they'll not tell you what they want you to say.
Huh.
They go, tell us what Old Mac is really like. You could actually tell them the truth about Old Mac.
Tanker's old SOB.
What kind of SOB?
Son of the beach.
No, but did you call me an old cantankerous?
Tanker's old.
Yeah. Can Old Mac be grouchy?
Sometimes, but for the most part, he's a teddy bear.
Oh, I like that.
He's just a big softy, and everyone loves him.
Nobody loves him?
I said everybody loves him.
Oh, I started saying, oh my God, my ego was just crushed when you said nobody loves me.
No, I said everybody loves you.
If If everybody loves me, how come I haven't got a kiss on my cheek right here? Or this cheek over here, this cheek over. Oh, don't take my hat off. Oh, thank you.
Trying to
Thank you.
warm up my face.
Yeah, there you go. Now, there you go. Thank you, sweetie. And little Theo, he's back right in front of the fireplace and doing good.
Dumb. He's no dum-dum. And little bit's right behind you.
I wanted to give her the opportunity to sit in the captain's chair here, and when I made a little walk over in that other room over there. I'm gonna have to get me a jug like we had when we was driving over the road, and I can sit here and talk and see, and unless you heard the stream going, you'd never know it. She's gone now. I tried to get her to be a first in command here, but she said no. She had been doing stuff and feeding the animals and stuff, and she wants to go in, and she hadn't even taken a shower this morning. She usually waits after she gets all the animals and everything fed, then she fed me this old animal. She gave me scrambled eggs and cheese, bacon, and Mary B biscuits, Mother B, I guess whatever those big old cat head biscuits, and grape jelly. You're talking about a fun little person to travel with. Last year, well, the last 2 years in a row, we went to the West Coast. But last year in 2024, we went up there in November and December. That was a mistake. But I was really frustrated, and she remained cool. And she called ahead, always get us a motel room, have it all ready for us when we got there. Going incoming, and she's really good with the phone. She gets really got to have a place where they'll take pets and all that stuff. And we we got over there coming back to Flagstaff, Arizona, and we had had such hard times. They only had third floor, and I don't get around all that good. I got pins in my leg, and I don't have enough articulation in my foot to really climb stairs really good. I do it, but it's not a safe thing because you can't bend your foot correctly to land good. And thank you, Mr. Weather. Um, so when we got at Flagstaff, we was leaving, and I said to her, I said, "How would you like to do a 24-hour straight run? Just stop and eat and get gas and no more motels." She said, "I'd love it." So we left at 4 o'clock in the morning at Flagstaff, Arizona, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, we were sitting here at my house in Alabama. We did it in 24 straight hours, no stops except gas and eat. And she told me she would stay awake with me all 24 hours. Didn't make it. She made it 2 hours. Then she started snoring, and her little mouth was open. She was doing, and I reached over and I would take my finger and I'd flip her little bottom lip, and she'd go. She said, "Was I snoring?" I said, "Not only was you snoring, but you were slobbering." Uh, yeah. She said, "I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to stay awake. I know I can do it." 2 hours later, she'd be over snoring again. Oh, life can take funny turns in your life, you just don't know what the end's gonna be like, and to have someone that would, I'd say, "You wanna ride to Mobile?" "Yeah." Not that like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll get around to it. I don't know." She'll go, "I'll start getting stuff ready." I asked her last year, I said, "You wanna go to Philadelphia, Mississippi?" She said, "Why?" I said, "I want you to take you to Philadelphia, Mississippi and buy bacon." And that's 250 miles from my house over to Philadelphia. That's a 500-mile trip back and forth. I believe I'm right. Maybe it's maybe it's 150 miles over there, 300-mile round trip. We did it in one day. We took off here and we go over there, buy our bacon, and I even stopped at my cousin's house and started passing out the free bacon. Older people, that likes that kind of bacon. And we bought them for gifts, 1 pound package of bacon of that really quality bacon from Philadelphia, Mississippi. It's well worth the trip. Well, uh, got my, let's see if I can take my shoe off there. I ain't trying to look at my nuts. I'm looking at my foot. See, I don't have as much articulation. You can see right up in there. Um, uh, it's on both sides. I've got titanium plates, and I think there's 8 or 10 screws in there. The holds all that together. But I don't have. See, I don't have no. I don't how much. You can see. Look at that bone. That thing working in there. That plate. You might be able to see it. You see that shiny looking spot going right through the cigar? That metal plate is just right under that skin. Ugh, that ain't that ain't good in there. That reminds you you're alive. You don't have to worry about it if you don't have to reach over and check your pulse and see if you're still alive. You just move your foot and you'll know it. Oh, sick. I'm so sorry, buddy. I ain't no way my little injury can compare to six. It's, please, sick, don't show yours, please. You your foot is scary, man. Hey, 2-4, he's my campaign manager. Yeah, 2-4 is going to be running operations out of Nova Scotia for my 2028 run, and I might even consider him letting him be my vice. He's going to handle all the vice in Canada. Oh no, no, I mean all the kind folks of Canada, not the vice. Oh, but you got to know the bacon there is the best bacon in the world. You get strips of bacon that long, that wide, that wide, and thick. And you tell them how thick you want it, 3/8 thick. That's the way my daddy liked it. That's pretty thick, but I like quarter. And we have a what's called it's a bacon pig. It's a metal plate. It's got a handle on it, and you set this bacon when you grill. You put your bacon on the griddle, and you put this little pig on the top of your bacon, and it makes it when it comes out just slabs of bacon that long, and it's so cured, and the flavor. You eat it right down to the rind, and the little strip of rind, little thin strip of the skin is crispy. Now, if you got good teeth, you can chew it and eat it, but I give it to my dog. Oh, he loves it. Well, yeah, that's a commercial Black Label Rafts Black Hawk Black Hawk. Now we have two bacons we really like. We go and buy from the Amish. We get Amish pepper bacon, and we usually buy quite a few pounds of it at one time. And then when we get to hankering, usually we ride off over to Philadelphia and pick up that bacon over there. And I wish I could remember the name. Let me ask her. I cannot remember the name of that store. Um, that's in Philadelphia. Been there since 1907. The store went into business 2 years before my daddy was born. We're going to get an answer right here. Say, she's my memory.
No.
You know how I call on you when I can't think of something?
Sure.
Okay, you know, if I need to know a movie title, you tell me right off immediately what it is, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, do you know the name of that bacon store over there in Philadelphia, Mississippi? It's something about brothers. Think about it. You saw the sign, huh?
Was it the Wilson brothers?
No, it ain't Wilson. It ain't Wilson brothers. It's a name, William Brothers.
Williams brothers.
Yeah, Williams Brothers. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it close enough with the old memory work there. All right, thank you.
No problem.
Bye bye. Williams Brothers, a mercantile. The Williams brothers have been in Philadelphia. If you take a little Google and ask for Brothers store in Philadelphia, Mississippi, as soon as you walk through the door, there's two gentlemen there with these big commercial slicers. And when you walk up there, you pick the bacon of your choice. You say, I want that side of bacon there. This is one. And you have them to cut them in. I like to cut mine in 1 pound packages because you can freeze all of them. And then when you're craving that good bacon, that the hogs are raised right there in the Mississippi Delta, just right down from the store, and they're slaughtered down there and processed down there and brought every day. Big container loads of fresh bacon ready. Just comes out of the great big processor, you know, where they've been smoked and cured, and then they slice. And when you watch that meat being sliced, those big, beautiful ribs of meat, and the color is just, you can almost eat it raw. It looks so damn good. Uh, I just, that whole thing about pins and plates well, I've told the story before, but I will repeat it. So I get home out of the hospital, and 1 week after I got home from the hospital, my wife had a 104-degree fever. Now, my wife was suffering from dementia. And so I have to load her in the car and take her to the clinic. So I pulled the car around to the front, that Mustang GT, and I laid the seat back. And then when I got her out there in the wheelchair, I had to pick her up out of the wheelchair and put her in the front seat of the car. She, at the time, was pretty heavy, but when I went to pick her up and was twisted to put her into the car, my foot slipped and bent my plate in my leg, and the pin come out through the side of the skin. Two of them come out through the side, popped out through the skin, and that wasn't pleasant either, because that skin is pretty tough on your ankles there. And it popped out there, and I'm bleeding. So I go over there, blood running down to my foot, down into my shoe. We have to lift her again out of the car because the man that came out with the wheelchair had back surgery himself, and he couldn't lift no more than 30 pounds. So I had to lift her up again and put her in the wheelchair. they did whatever they had to do to her and bring her back out, and I picked her up and put her back in the car. Well, that I ended up having to go back to the surgeon, and wasn't pretty. Well, the train is coming and delivering my mail. Oh, and he's stopping. Oh, he's stopping. He's going to drop off. Oh, I've got mail. Well, that's good. That's how they bring my email in here in my part of Alabama. It's brought in by steam train. They bring our water in by mule. We're in Alabama. Alabama, we're kind of a little bit behind the times, and we're proud of it. Well, you mentioned naval. It's a surgical procedure, I'm sure, but I had a big tower, 60-foot tower, out on sawhorses out here, and I was getting ready to sell to somebody, so I put a brand new fresh coat of aluminum paint over the tower, and I rotated it on all three sides, painted all the crossbars, and it was a fairly large, 60-foot large tower. And now I need to take the one end off the sawhorse and put it down on the ground. So I picked up the end, and then I took my left leg and slid the sawhorse out from under the tower. And as I went to let it go down, my leg started slipping in the grass. As I was bending my knees, put it down, and my navel popped out. And I felt the stinging and burning. So I come in the house, and my navel was sticking out that far. It looked like a little weenie sticking out there, And it was painful, and it had looked like little blood veins in it and stuff. And so I make an appointment and drive up there to the hospital. They said, we got to give you surgery right now. You got to have it right now. So they put me in the hospital immediately because they said that your intestines could rupture there and septic poison would set in and I would die within hours. I would just like curl up like an old rat and die. And so they put me in the hospital and they put me a Kevlar patch. And I don't have a navel now. I have an innie on it, like just a little place there. And so I just was recovering from that. My wife asked me if I would take a basket full of gourds that didn't weigh nothing out to her van. I said, sure. So I get a hold of a basket full of gourds and went to go down my steps. And I slipped on the top step and went all the way down to the ground, landed belly first onto the ground. And it pulled one of my little stitches on the inside. They stitch you at these corners, and it pulled one of my little stitches up, and that damn Kevlar rolled up a little bit. Uh, Back to the hospital again. Hey, look at now. Don't try to swap medical stories with an old guy. When you get to be my age, you've had more medical things than one could ever imagine. Don't even get me started about colon cancer. I could go on for hours about that. Or let me see, this side right here. Camera's backwards. Yeah. You see all that, all you see how odd there's almost no more. It's just there's a few places here. All right, so then you come over here, look at the side here. Radiation, the big C word, radiation. And a huge, big place right in here where they had to cut all the way my jawbone. And when he radiated my face there, my eyebrows fell out. My nose hair fell out. My mustache fell off. I look like a hairless rat without my mustache, man. Yeah, old guys have got scary medical stories. But you young folks like Sick over there, he's got a horrible, oh my God, that foot of his had everybody worried. Yeah, the big thing male will worry about colon cancer, prostate cancer, things. I haven't never been determined to have prostate cancer, but colon, we went through that whole thing. I've got a video of me celebrating 5 years being cancer free. That's a good feeling. Yeah, like Lee Major, $6 million man. Got to do whatever it takes to keep it ticking. Well, we got to do something to spice our little crowd up here. I ought to do a contest or something. I could go get my the bomb. I have this hot sauce that where they do the pepper challenge. This guy that brings a guest on, and they see if they can go through all 7 peppers, 7 different heats. And when they get up to the bomb, it usually that's the first one that makes them cry. Sometimes it makes them sneeze, and sometimes it does everything to you. It just really messes your mind up when you eat that level of pepper. And we did a pepper challenge with my family in Washington this year up in November at Thanksgiving. I had a big family gathering in Kent, Washington, and I broke out the bottle of the bomb. And you pour some in a teaspoon, and oh, we had you could put it on turkey, or you could put it on a weenie, or whatever, whatever you wanted to put it on, or just put it on a chip. My daughter, she poured her teaspoonful on a chip, put it in there. I see tears running down their eyes. And my big old boy, my big son there, he was all puckered up, and took a little while. He was kind of talkative guy. He can talk, but he didn't have a lot to say after that for a while. If you really like to challenge yourself on hot pepper, try the bomb. That's what we ordered ours. I think it cost us $12 or $16 for a little bottle of the bomb. The bomb. It is hot. We've done enough of it now. We know exactly how it's going to hit us. Angelique said when the first time she tried it, she couldn't breathe for 2 days. She said, it almost tore my lungs out. Yep, nah, bomb. That's what that's what it's called. We did it right here I got a video of me and Angelique doing it right here. We challenged anybody else to do it on theirs, and I didn't see anybody take me up on the challenge, but it was fun doing it anyhow. Just I'm gonna tell you, I got a video of Angelique drinking her first shot of Patron. I love Patron, and my family loves it. All my kids, my family, we all drink when we go out and celebrate. We'll do a shot of Patron, and so now it's Angelique's time to try her first shot of Patron. I got the camera sitting there. Ah, oh yeah, yeah. There's all kinds of household chemicals you can make into a weapon. Uh, so the waiter brought it over, and we told the waiter that was a special, her first Patron, and he wanted to see the reaction. So I had the camera sitting over here running. So she did she took the shot, licked the salt, and bit into the lime. But when she threw that shooter back of Patron, she went. That she licked the salt and eat her little lime, and she can't talk, and her tears are in her eyes, and she was, "Oh, it was god awful." But it made a good video. Got a lot of hits. I wish I'd have done it in a short. That would have been a killer short. Her first Patron. Now, when we went up Christmas up to the Northwest, we had Patron. Yeah, I didn't buy it. For my 80th birthday, we went to a Mexican restaurant, and my nephew ordered Don Julio. Don Julio's like 12 to $18 a shot, and it's the reason he ordered this was bottled in 1940. Don Julio, it's got dated on the bottle, 1940. And the reason they ordered it for me, that was the year I was born. And so they bring me out the shot, and everybody waited for me to take the first shot. And I liked it. It tasted good. And my nephew bought me that bottle of Don Julio for $400. And when we got through our little party in there for the celebration of my birthday, we went home, and him and we finished off that bottle of Don Julio, bottled in 1940. Good stuff. Now, I don't think tequila gets older with age. I mean, I don't think it gets better with age. It was just happened to be, uh, it's dated. And so when the owner of that Mexican restaurant said when we were celebrating my birthday and what year I was born, he brought us out that treat, Don Julio. Yeah, back in our days, in the early, like in the 70s, there was a musical group did a tune called Tequila. I was hooked then. I still I love some tequila. In fact, I may have some tequila in there, and I might have a shot of tequila with you folks. Well, it's noon. It's noon on Eastern time, and it's quarter after 11 here. Might be a little early, and I don't know if we have any tequila left. But let me see. If we have some tequila left, Old Mac or Mac Daddy will have a shot of tequila with you. There's Angelique right here. We may not have any tequila. We'll see. Because we have friends that stop by and they like tequila too.
Hey.
Honey, I know I've called you like 9 times in the last 3 minutes, but do we have any tequila?
Uh, I'm gonna look, 'cause I don't know.
If you got it, bring me a bottle and a shot glass. Bring you a shot glass too, if you want to have a shot with me.
All right, let me see if we got it first.
Okay.
One.
All right. You she's way up in our house is a rambling house, and she's now way up in the front over there. We got a 30-foot hallway going down through the middle of the house down to the other end of the house. And down there is where the bar is at.
Tequila.
No tequila. Look over it. Look really good.
I'm looking.
Well, I know we took half a gallon to Washington with us, but we didn't. I know.
You gave the other bottle to Joe.
Oh, did I give it to Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Mix.
Yeah, that's right. They was having a celebration, and it was too late to go to the liquor store, and that's right. I gave it to Joe. Thanks. See, that's what I have you for, is that memory.
But still, I thought we still had another one too.
Oh, and he said they had a good time on that tequila.
Yeah, it was still about what, 3/4 of the way full.
Yeah, it was good stuff too. It wasn't.
Yeah.
That was that potato. What that? No, that was what? That was that. Well, it doesn't matter. But they had a good time.
We do need to get more of that blue ice potato vodka too.
How about then bring me the Baileys and a shot glass.
Alrighty.
We can both have a shot of it.
Yeah, Bailey's is delicious.
All right. Bring me some Baileys. I'll have a shot of Baileys. Thank you. Yeah, go get it and bring the bottle and a couple of shot glasses.
Alrighty.
All right. Oh, I forgot what we did with that tequila. Joe knew I'd probably have something in stock. Yeah, Bailey's is like Thomas Bailey is saying, yeah, Bailey's is good. We used to have a running joke in our family. You know, you never think about anything good with the last name Turner, but every once in a while somebody'd say, "Turn her over." That's an old joke. All right.
See how cool that is.
Oh, man, that's good. Angelique made us some shot glasses. Got the glitter and all that stuff. Got mine here. Here. I'll hold both of them. Now I'll hold them in this way right here, and you can fill them up. That's good, honey. And fill that one up. I put set the bottle somewhere, and I'll do a salute with you. Here, take you a little. Just your little.
Take sparkles.
All right, let me see. I gotta have the right one. Back, open the lips and over the gums. Look out, stomach. Here it comes. Salute.
That tastes actually better than Bailey's.
Where's that at? Where's that bottle at? Oh, here it is. Oh. If you ever get a craving for a good Bailey's,
go to Costco.
Go to Costco. We got this. This is not Bailey's Irish cream, you know.
But it tastes just like it.
What, $42? $47 for a bottle of Bailey's.
Name brand Bailey's.
Name brand Bailey's. This we got for
$12.
$12 at Costco.
We should stock up on that.
$12. Angel Face, you missed. We just had a toast to the fine people of Canada. That's what we toasted. You know, we had salute to the fine people of Canada. Doggone it, you missed it.
To the naughty neighbors of Canada.
Yeah, this is you can look at right here. You can see it's not a bad thing. It's
delicious.
If I can get the camera to focus. Come on, camera, pick it up. It's too close, I guess. Anyhow, there it is, a 94. It's good stuff. Oh, it's really.
Is that the score rating?
$12 at Costco.
Is that the score rating?
Huh?
Is that the score rating? 94?
I think so. See what it say on there.
Yeah, gold medal winner, 94 points.
94 points. It was scored, and people that score Bailey's Irish cream, it's got Canada, eh? That's right.
We love our Canadian friends.
Yeah, we saw that.
Oh, Snapples.
Yeah, we saw they roasted Wayne Gretzky last night. I saw that. I saw the
Do I
little
have
bit
to
of
go back in the kitchen again?
Well, you can, honey, you can just set it.
The table for now.
Okay,
I'll go back.
I'll set it right over here. There we go. Irish Country Cream. Mm-mm-mm. Same alcohol content as Bailey's, but a smooth, smooth flavor. Hockey, to American hockey in the northern states is something they can do, but we don't even have any concept of playing hockey in Alabama. Um, that would be kind of rare, ice skating rinks and stuff like that. Thank God nobody was killed in that plane crash. I was glad to see that. I flew a lot of miles on that particular model. I think it's made in Italy. That that plane is manufactured in Italy. It's a good it's a good flying plane. But things are going to happen. Thank God it turned out better than it could have been really bad. I'm going to tell you, Thomas Bailey, if you do go to British Columbia is over all the way on the west coast over there, and you're going to go to Vancouver. You're probably flying to Vancouver. Get on the ferry and go through the Swassen Cut on the Canadian ferry over to Victoria, the island of Victoria. Go over to, and if you do it in the spring of the year, like say May, late April, early May, you arrive in Victoria by ferry and get you a rental car and go up to the Bouchard Gardens and look at the blooming of all the fountains. You got water, it goes 100 feet up in the air and it plays by music, and the water, they're squirting jets of water up through there, and it's beautiful. It's go to the Chinese garden at Bouchard Gardens. They got a whole where they got the Japanese gardens and water coming through bamboo and stuff. It is beautiful. And you got every corner. You go around another corner, there's more beautiful dahlias and roses and petunias and everything you could even imagine there. That's in the Bouchard Gardens. Oh, that's a province way. That's over. That is, you see, you got British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan. That's farming country. That's like Kansas or Middle America sort of stuff. British Columbia, Vancouver is in British Columbia. I used to go to Vancouver quite often. It's a beautiful city. I'd recommend anybody, if you go to the West Coast, make sure you got your passport and visa and everything, and go over to Vancouver. Red Rider, she's from the British Columbia, and she likes to ride her bike over in Okanagan country, and it's a wide open Western country where you could ride for miles and miles. And, it's just a beautiful area, all mountains all around you, and No, there's no Alberta. Alberta is a city in the province of Alberta is a province in Canada, and the province that is where Vancouver at is in British Columbia, BC, British Columbia. Well, the air is beautiful up there. Reason being is you have marine offshore floor air for the Pacific that goes all the way over to Saskatchewan. The marine flow goes all the way to Saskatchewan. That's all fresh, brand new, clean ocean air. You know, we have the Gulf down here that we get some air when when the wind's coming out of the south, we'll get some air from the Gulf and it helps you clean up because Birmingham is the dirtiest city in the state of Alabama. It used to be called Smoke City. And no, they have regulations there that will not allow a lot of things that is done here. You know, you can't dump acid into the rivers. You can't do any of those kind of things there. They have been protecting their environment for a long, long time because they realize if you kill Mother Earth, you don't have no place to stay. And you know something about the forest fire, Angel Face. You take the big Douglas fir trees that grow 175, 200 feet high, the big Douglas fir trees. Up at the top up there, 200 feet, 175 feet up, you have these big pine cones. The pine cones require a certain amount of heat for the cone to open up for it to release its seed to regrow the forest. And forest fires down below, the heat rises up and reaches that temperature level and it allows the seeds to flow with the air. So forest fire is a natural process. And the only time a forest fire is detrimental to you is when you happen to build a $1 billion condominium complex in the middle of a forest and then whine and complain about your smoke because your forest is on fire. But forest fires are a necessary part of the ecology. Keeping them under control is a thing that man has to do to protect our property that we've built in the forest. Oh, you're a Canadian. I know you know this because um, we lived in Washington for 40 years with the big fir trees, and they don't want no forest fires up there. You know, they want to prevent it because a Douglas fir tree, it takes hundreds of years, possibly thousands of years for the tree to reach full height and maturity. We got trees that's a couple of hundred years old um, that in the state of Washington, you got noted trees. They all have names. The older trees that's hundreds of years old. Yeah, American Outlaw. Especially if you go over at Minot, you got prairie. I don't know if you've ever seen a prairie fire, but we had one in the state of Washington that burned off a million acres of prairie across the middle portion of Washington state. And best thing ever happened. What happened? It burned up all the tumbleweeds, and then all brand new growth came up underneath there. And the place just flourished after the big fire. The ash is good for the soil. Oh my gosh, yes. You remember over in British Columbia, the Okanagan fire, that was up in Canada and it swept down through North America there, right down, not North America, right into America, down through the Okanagan country into the state of Washington. And that fire ran all the way from the Canadian border all the way down past Chelan, down to Moses Lake. That's in the central part of the state. Devastating fires. Yeah, forest management, they do have to do back burns and, you know, and they have fire breaks, they call them, so when a fire is in an area, it don't spread over, and there's a lot of money spent in the forest to you know, uh, keep it from burning down the forest. We were driving one time up in the forest in the area where D.B. Cooper jumped out of the airplane when he stole some money, or when he held the plane for ransom and got 200,000, I believe it was. Well, anyhow, we were up in that part of the country, and I come around a corner and I seen fire in the side of the bank where they cut through the road, went through this bank. I seen fire in the bank. So I get over and look, and there was a big old root about that big around, was on fire, and you could look down into the root where it had been charred. And we got up, parked on top of the hill, and walked and started looking up into the forest, and we found the tree that was struck by lightning back into the forest, and it set all the sap on fire down in that root area complex, and burned all out to the road, because once it got the air over to the road, picked up air, then it was able to feed like a furnace, feed that fire under this root complex. So we got to the nearest phone we could and called it in, and they really thanked us, because they said this is how these things get fired up sometimes, by lightning, and it'll spread and it get into a leafy area, and then it goes up a tree, and then next thing you know, you got a big fire. You yeah, I know you went to the Yakima firing range, and I did too. The Yakima firing range, you've got this, I don't know how many million acres there are over there. It's a huge complex. You got all the way from Yakima over to Sela. I mean, all the way over. You can go from Yakima all the way to Ellensburg and stay on the firing range, almost to Ellensburg. You go up over the hill, and yeah, that is the Yakima firing range. I've had friends of mine that was stationed up there, and what happened to them in the year of 2000, one boy got sick. My son was he was a drill instructor, and they were on a training. They was doing tube artillery over there at the Yakima firing range. Then two boys got sick. They had to send them back to Fort Lewis, and then three boys, and next thing you know, there was 28 of them in the company down. 28 guys in the company was down. And COVID. COVID ran rampant in his unit. You know how do you huddle up sometimes, and you got things where everybody is sharing everything. Well, it just ran through that whole unit while they was doing a tube exercise, tube artillery over there at Yakima firing range. And yeah, I mean, you go to Yakima. Once you leave Yakima and go into the eastern portion of Washington, there have been places ain't been no rain in 10 years. And like you go to Moses Lake, the average rainfall is 10 inches a year. 10 inches a year. We get that much rain in one setting. We've had rains here, 24 inches of rain to fall in one setting. That's when all of our rivers would flood. When we get a hurricane to stall off the coast of Mobile, the rain would be, these outer bands would be full of rain, and they would rain up here 24 inches of rain in 24 hours. That's an average of 1 inch per hour. And the rivers would rise and people died. Oh, Desert Outlaw Thomas Bailey, he was on with us a couple of days ago. He's doing well, and he's looking good, and he hadn't been sick, but he's a young guy. And we didn't ask him a lot of questions, but we was happy to see him. We was happy to see him is healthy. Yeah, those planes from Canada flew down and put the fires out, helped put the fires out in California. They would go into those big lakes in California, dip up the water, and they would fly 3 or 4 in a row. Big, beautiful planes uh, um, that could land on the water, but they would fly over the water and scoop the water up as they was flying and go out and dump it and come back. And they just ran a circular pattern until they put the fires out. Yeah, Canada sent a whole bunch of planes down to Florida, down to California. I've been to the gorge. It's called, the name of the town there, American Outlaw, is George. George is the town, and the amphitheater is at the gorge at George. So all your big entertainment groups, they have over 100,000 people come for concert. I don't think my daughter's ever missed a concert at the gorge. We've been there many a time. It's a gorgeous place. It's so dry, so arid, but you're up in this lava bed. And they built an amphitheater in this lava bed, and the acoustics of the lava reflections and the signal. You can hear a pin drop on the stage up there. And oh, you talking about partying. So you go to George. There's not a lot of stuff in George. George is a little farming community, but during the concert, that place would be campers as far as the eye can see. Yeah, we've seen the planes from out of the planes that put out of the fire. I watched the whole YouTube video on how they prep them and how they take care of them and how they maintain them, and the crews. I've seen the interviews with the different crews that flies them. They're a family, man. Them guys, I've got family members that are smoke jumpers. They're out of Yakima, Washington, and they've been smoke jumpers for a number of years. They go to all the major fires. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Angel Face, I think those aircraft are de Havilland. And at one time, my company bought de Havilland. They bought them outright, and then they turned them back over to de Havilland after a period of time. It was a deal that was agreed upon by all parties. I believe it's de Havilland is the company, because we bought into that company, but it was purposes. I have no reason, no answers on why they did such things as that, but they bought in. My company bought into several big ventures in Canada. Well, people have emotions and they express. Look at uh, you take pride in your own country. You have a country you live in, and I have a country I live in. You're not the 51st state. You won't be the 51st state. You'll always be Canada, and you have no reason not to be proud of your country. You have always been there when America would be at war, when England would be at war. Canadians went to that war, and all of our wars, and we've had a lot of wars. So booing is an expression. Look at race car. I'm a big in NASCAR. NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Sr. He said the only way you know that you're being observed and watched is how loud the boos are. If you go out there and they call your name and there's not even an echo, nobody says nothing, that means nobody knows who you are. They don't have no opinion about you. So boos are an expression of feelings. But you're not a Canadian, are you, Thomas Bailey? Those people in Canada, I'm sure they would have an entirely different feeling than you would about because you're going to be in support of your government. They also are going to be in support of their government. It would be a shameful thing, as people would be ashamed of their own government and go on the media service and start putting their own country down. We have a right of expression to say things and that people maybe not agree with. That's freedom of speech. And I'm sure there's people probably in Russia loves Putin. There was people that loved Stalin. It was really important that you showed him love too, because in the old days, you could be killed if you didn't show your love for the leader. And I like to think if you live in a country where you can express yourself without fear of retaliation, freedom of speech. I can remember things that was far outclassed that our classless was there was a Haitian team in the Olympics, and they entered in the Haitian team entered in to the bobsled team, and they had a bobsled team, and they went all the way, I think, in Northern California somewhere to practice their snow skills, and the Americans booed the Haitians. And yet that's a little country down there where they dream of snow. So our freedom of expression came out on that day when they introduced the Haitian team, the bobsled team, and they started booing them at the Olympics. And they had to go out there and find all the odds. They had to go find snow to practice in because they don't get snow. Now, you take, for instance, a bobsled team coming out of Bismarck, North Dakota, they would be experienced bobsled people, and they've done that all their lives. But you take a little country like Haiti to send a team to the Olympics to represent bobsledding. That'd be very much like that lady they sent from Australia to be a break dancer. The hell was that all about? Get up there, she couldn't. I mean, I'm almost 85 years old. I could break dance better than she could. Oh man, they were booing. I mean, it was something else. That poor old girl. She's trying to do her best, but if they wanted to break dance her, they had to go to East LA, man. You got to go where people know how to spin on their heads. I love that Grateful Dead. Sponsor the look at Lithuanian Bay. Oh man. I mean, what I'm saying is let us all be what we are, just you know, yeah, how much pride do those Haitians have, are the people in Lithuanian team, basketball team, how much pride they had knowing they're going against America or going against the Russians or going against, the countries that's really noted for their basketball skills. And same with the little Haitian people from a country that has no snow entering a world famous bobsledding. Evil Rick. Yeah, you're right. I mean, when I saw that, I went, "Oh, good God Almighty!" You want to get a break dancer? Go to Bronx. You'll find break dancers. Yeah, go to East LA. You ain't gonna find them in my part of Alabama, but go to Birmingham, and there are probably people that know how to do that stuff. Huh? But but the thing is, she was giving her very best. I hated that she got booed, but even Australia booed her. That's bad. It hurts anybody that does anything against her flag or against her and that. But we're not going to come to war. We're not going to attack you for that. You're expressing your freedom. I can't suppress, or neither will I ever attempt to suppress your freedom of expression. I was born American with a constitution that guaranteed me the right of free expression, and I would never deny you of that same right. It may not have been proper, and there's a lot of people who got their feelings hurt, but we're not going to attack you for it. We're not going to go to war over that moment of disrespect. No, you have a lot. You're a Canadian. Your people are noted for your courtesy. I think, generally speaking, if you looked at Canada like you look at America, you get up there in Quebec, for instance. I have a good friend. Me and him have been friends for years. He lives in Val d'Or, and he's French Canadian. He speaks fluent French, but he didn't get in and start bad mouthing America about the freedom fries. When George Bush started calling me, we won't no longer use the word French fries. We're going to freedom fries. We can be ridiculous as well. And my friend, he didn't get in on a tirade about our president denying French fries. That's so goddamn crazy. So we're going to stay neighbors, and you have a lot to be proud for. No, you never have to apologize to an American, a true American, because he knows what the freedom of speech means, the freedom to assemble. That's what we're doing here. We're assembling. The freedom of expression. Them colors back there gives me all those freedoms. We don't serve a king. We have elected a leader of this country to lead these people into battle with this flag, our soldiers. And that's what it amounts to. When you take an oath, and all of you military people, I know American Outlaw can agree. When you went up there and you raised your hand and you swore allegiance, swore on an oath, never once did you mention the president's name, because if you do 30 years in the military, you're going to serve under a lot of presidents, a lot of different political power. You are independent. You are an American citizen serving the best interests and making sure the Constitution stays intact. We separated from the land of kings a long time ago in 1776. Declaration of Independence was written. We didn't become a nation to quite a few years after that. A few years later, we don't sign a declaration and then all of a sudden it happens. We had to fight a war. Buck Brown knows he signed. Buck Brown was up in age, and he swore an oath to the Constitution as well, not to a president, but to the Constitution, serving America. And we are America, we the people. And we the people make up two major parties and several independent party, libertarians, and various other groups. They're all represented. That's right. Oh, that's exactly right. And then my sons, all of my sons, I got 5 warring sons. 3 of them got full discharges. One of them got medical discharge. He got blowed up in Fallujah. Salty Badger. Yep. Yeah. All of my relatives, they served under a lot of presidents. When it was in war, they started out with Roosevelt in World War II. And he up and died, and Truman took over. And we've had many different kind of. I remember meeting General Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1951, I believe it was. He was running for president, 50 or 51. I was 11 or 12 years of age. Might have been 52. It was in the 50s, but we met him when he was running for president. He was running against Adlai Stevenson, the Democratic Party, and Alabama was totally Democratic at that time, no Republicans. And they swung the state. Eisenhower won handily in Alabama because all the men that served him while he was a general in the army, they served with dignity under Eisenhower. Yeah, no, America ain't for everybody. And for those that find and it's not what they're looking for, don't come in and try to change America. We're what we are. And if you don't like it, go and find a place that's better suited for you. And yeah, we don't ask you to wave the flag. You don't have to wave the flag. But you got to support our country if you're going to be a part of it. That's like a Marine, as you know. I have one son, Marine son. Once a Marine, always Marine. I got sons in the Navy, had them. Got grandchildren in the military today. And I'll have grandkids soon in the military. Yeah, I've showed this before, but this around here, about all tangled up. That's hard to do. Let me get the ladder. You see right up here it says honorable discharge. Um, yeah, I'm proud of that. We were in a different period of time. Now, in ours, in the 50s, life was a little bit different. It was considered patriotic duty. Your mama expected you to go off to war. Well, she expected you to serve your country, and if war come about, she knew her boy would be able to handle the stresses of war. Her boys. When she signed for my brother to be in the Army, she was really proud the day she went with him for his swearing in. Then he got killed. She never faulted the country ever. Yep. Well, it's 5 minutes to 12. I'm going to sign off at 12 o'clock. That means I've been on 2.5 hours. So it gives us about 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes to get it wrapped up. Because, see, I've been needing to go take a pee. See, remember, I asked her to sit in my chair so I could go take a pee. And I'm an old guy, and I have to pee about every 4 hours where I need it or not. So we've enjoyed it this morning. We don't mean to turn none of my stuff into any kind of a patriotic hoorah and gather around the flag and let's do the salute and everything. No, if you want to talk about patriotism of your country or my country, the failures and the faults, whatever, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it, and you're willing. You can state anything you want to state here, as long as it stays with a realm of reality and steeped in truth. I want the truth to be set free. Now, it doesn't mean you can't come on here and lie now, because I think a good lie occasionally is good. Like when I catch fish, when I catch a fish and it's that wide between the eyes, you know it's a big one. And you have the God-given right to make your fish story as big as you want it. I'm with American Outlaw on that. You you've got a good country. Support your country. Make your country better. If you don't like the way it's going, make it better by just you yourself. If you're a better neighbor and better to your own fellow country people, if Americans were better to each other, our country would improve overnight, wouldn't we? When we start evaluating the color of our skin, I'm going to set at the top because my skin is quite a bit lighter. I won't be there long. If you look at them liver spots there, according to what all the old people say, you got to start getting them liver spots like that. Your time is pretty well up. So I won't be talking this way too long, but no, we don't judge people by the color of their skin or their religion. People see God in so many different ways. The sad part about it is some people never see God. They're godless. And that's the sad thing, is to go through life without knowing that you're not all you think you are. There's somebody more powerful than you, and just stop and think how you got here. We didn't just accidentally become humans, but if you come in and want to go on a tirade about your extremism and your religion, you can take that to one of the channels that likes that kind of stuff. Tells we don't we don't do the extremism on anything, whether it be politics, or religion. There's people out there that love the extremes of everything. This is a moderate channel where you can come in and have fun with your friends and visit with your friends and talk about any subject you want to. Just don't go off the deep end. I don't want you to come in here and pull your Bible out and start reading to me. I am old enough to read the Bible. I've read it twice. I don't need to be preached to. I don't want you to preach about your religion or your politics. Your viewpoint on politics is just that, your viewpoint. I'm an American before I'm a politician. I'm what goes to war. I and people like me is what politicians counts on to wage war against other countries. The people that's willing to pull the trigger and do whatever they think is right for the country. For whoever's serving, whoever the political leader happens to be at that time. Man, my heart goes out to you there, American Outlaw, on your project that you got. And you know it's out there in the shed. You can't get to the shed right now because of the snow and ice, but it's going to eventually thaw out and you're going to be out there and you're going to have to resolve that issue with your block, you know. I had an old Marine to cut my hair for over 20 years in Sumner, Washington. Him and his wife were both barbers in the Marine Corps. And there, see, the military back in our days, we worked for the military and you had to be, sideburns could not come no more than to right here. And your mustache came to right here. Just as far as the mustache could be. And he always kept me trimmed high and tight, just the way the military liked. All right, I guess you guys heard the whistle blow this afternoon. And Old Mac, or Mac Daddy if you prefer, is going to go and conjure up something for lunch. And I want to thank each and every one of you that came over and joined Old Mac this morning. And I had a good time, and I hope you enjoyed your little visit here with me on my channel. And thanks to Motorbomb, he started the thing off this morning, and it's like a handoff. No, it wasn't a reach around; it was a handoff. And I took up the reins and ran with it this morning like I tried to do yesterday, but my signal wouldn't let me stay on the air. Please be sure to come back and visit Old Mac, and we will certainly always, as the guy at Motel 6, Tom Burdett, he said, I'll leave the light on for you. So everybody do the kisses and hugs and shake hands and fist bumps and all your stuff you do to end a stream. Well, you're honey, ma'am. I almost called you honey, Mrs. Canadian lady. You're you're so welcome on my channel. God bless each and every one of you, and hey, find somebody today that you can tell them you love them, or you appreciate them, or you really like what they do, or give somebody some praise. Give somebody a little pick me up by your behavior today. And by all means, be kind to yourself. God bless you.